most important part.
Mm-hmm. And of course, no matter what happens, we need to be out of fear, because fear lowers your vibration immediately.
Exactly. I mean, when you're in control, you don't fear.
Right.
When you fear, it's just when you're threatened and out of control. But if you know where you're going and what you're doing, you can't be
fearful. You can't be shaken.
You'll be fearless.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And if the listeners can achieve those 4 steps, they'll be they'll be the light workers or light bearers that they should be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that a lot of people do talk about not knowing what they're supposed to be doing and what to do next. So this is an obvious solution to taking those active steps towards discovering what and aligning with one's own soul plan.
Exactly. And then once the soul plan becomes known, and unfortunately, the soul plan is never given to you in a nice big thick bound book, so you can just go through it.
Right.
They give it to you, as far as 1 inch from your nose. And what you have to do, what they expect you to do, is take action.
Uh-huh. So
you've got to take the first step, and then the second step will be revealed. Then you take the second step, and then the third step is revealed. And that's how it goes. It's a sort of a testing process in the beginning. And then as you advance more along your path, then you'll be able to see a little further down the road and make the plans. And then the more you go along your path, the farther down you can see. But in the beginning, it's pretty tough, because your guides are not quite they don't quite trust you yet whether you're going to go through with it or not. So the first few steps are tests to see whether you have the resolve to do something about it.
So that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, why waste their time on somebody who's going to give up halfway?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And of course, getting control of the mind and the thoughts eliminates the mind control that surrounds us and allows us to think for ourselves.
Exactly. And then what you have achieved at that point is what the Master Djwal Khul calls the soul-infused personality. This is a walking human being on this earth that is guided through and through by his soul. And that's what we call soul liberation. The soul has been liberated to express itself in the physical body.
Wow. Well, that sounds
good to me. And then you become a saint, Lance. No, I'm just joking. Well, pretty close to one.
Wow. Well, this is the time when this is going to happen.
It has to happen.
It has
if
to
it
happen.
doesn't happen, we're in deep trouble.
Right. Absolutely. Well, what are some of the other events that you see on the near horizon?
Well, the near horizon, of course, is within the next couple of months. This tumbling of the economic system, and that I think is good enough. That touches every single person's pocketbook.
Yes.
And wallet. And the point is, there may be times where you have to go up to the ATM machine and it's not going to be it's not going to be spitting out money anymore. And that's why we really strongly recommend that people take the measures to get some silver coins or gold coins if you can afford it, and start changing your worthless paper into actual bullion. Because there's going to be a period of time, as I said, of great instability, and you walk into the store and give the proprietor your dollar, and he'll say he doesn't want it.
All right.
Give me something else that's more tangible. And I've been in situations like that already when I was working in the Congo. and the whole Congolese money just collapsed one day, and nobody would take it. And you got bundles of it, and you can't use it. And happily, I happened to be a foreigner in the country, and I had U.S. dollars. And so I could pay with it. But now it's the U.S. dollar that's going to be the toilet paper.
Right.
So nobody wants that. So it's going to have to be some kind of a precious metal or coin of some sort. So I don't think people should take that very lightly, because it could be just around the corner.
Now, what about the internet rumors that in the Great Depression that silver and gold was confiscated by the government, and that they may be passing laws or taking actions towards disallowing the public from owning those items? Is that
well? They tried that in 1934. Roosevelt declared that all the gold had to be, that private parties were not allowed to own a certain amount of gold, and all in excess had to be turned over. But very few people complied.
Right.
They just took it over the border and banked it in Canada or in Mexico.
Right.
And, but that is always a possibility. But you do it discreetly when you get these coins. Tuck them away. You don't have to tell everybody about it.
Right.
Yeah, and when you go to, or you can, when you go to the marketplace, because I think all the supermarkets are going to close down.
Yeah.
You'll have somebody in the corner who's a money changer, and he'll weigh your coins. I've seen this happen, and he'll tell you how much you've got worth there, and then you just go about buying your vegetables and fruits and things in the marketplace.
Do you think it's going to be an important aspect of all of this for local communities to gather together in terms of pooling resources like growing vegetables and...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see the good part of mankind when they pool together in this crisis. Without government interference. The government authorities will be, broke. They won't have any taxes.
Right.
And you're seeing that happen. Look at the state of Minnesota. It shut down. The government shut down. And you'll see people will gather together, and they'll solve the garbage problem. They'll solve the food problem. They'll have community gardens and things like this. This is all going to come back. This is the stuff that's been taken away from us by these comfortable supermarkets and stuff like that. But all that stuff, people will start using their creative abilities, and it's all going to come back.
Well, plus,
and I'm quite optimistic of what the human race is capable of doing.
Oh, me
to get
too.
rid of all these.
Me too. The human heart is far more powerful than any battleship or atomic bomb. It can melt mountains, and when we're connected at the heart, anything is possible.
That's right.
Anything.
And in your soul, there's a store of knowledge that can get you through anything.
Yes. Well, some are tapping into what they call the void or the field that's around us, and it's the mind. I guess they say it's the mind of God or the mind of the divine, where pure genius resides.
Well, that's maybe another way of calling the soul, but we believe that the soul is that spark of life that comes from the sun. Amun Ra. And that spark goes right down into your pineal gland in your brain, and that's the seat of the soul. Wow. And that you join that soul with the heart, and then you've got a decent human being. Right. We redeem ourselves. But when you think of it, the importance of the sun, if you turn off the sun, we all die. And esoterically, it stands true that spark of light is the same life-giving spark that's given to your body. and also within that spark is everything else that you need, all the knowledge and resources that you need. All you have to do is tap into that.
Mm-hmm. And it's all within. What about the idea that fluoride, which is being dumped into all of our water supplies in large amounts, causes the pineal gland to atrophy?
Oh my! I didn't know about that.
Yes, and
that's why I've been filtering my water and distilling it for the last 25 years. It must be the reason why. I don't drink out of the tap.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. Well, so, there's nothing we can do about that at this point, but be aware and make sure that we have adequate filtration systems that can filter out that kind of detrimental and harmful material.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I'm very hopeful about all of this, and I'm so glad that
it's a new birth for the earth. I mean, it's not to be feared, but it's to be welcomed.
Yes.
And those who perish in all this these quote unquote catastrophes, remember that life is eternal.
Yes.
They will come back in different forms of humans, and they will, partake of this new age. It is not the end.
Right. Absolutely not. Well, Michael, we have this hour has flown by on angel's wings. And
God, is it an hour already?
Yes. I want to thank you for coming back, and I'll have to have you back again so that we can get into some more detail, because you're just a wealth of information and very uplifting. And would you mention your website again before we sign out?
Okay, it's Sanctus, Sanctus, Germanus, one word, .net.
Wonderful, and I highly recommend all of your books because I've read them, and I love every one of them.
Okay.
So thank you again for being with us, and I look forward to our next chat. All right. Okay, Michael. Good night.